Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, everyone?
Good morning.
Good
I'm
Fine,
doing good.
morning.
fine. Good morning.
Hello, TT. Bright and early today.
Mm,
Yes, I am.
Mr.
Eh,
Jude, the tech prophet. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
I'm very well. Safety chick, are you there?
Uh,
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Deusi, Evening, Jude. Good morning,
I'm
everyone.
looking forward to the day that safety chick you unveil your face.
uh-huh.
I think you are mentoring Jude. Jude has gone behind the scenes. Eben is taking suit. I hereby demand your
Eh,
physical outlook,
pre-
your physical ambience, if I would say that. Dr. Eben, Dr. Eben,
uh,
Eben is not there.
he's there,
Okay,
but okay.
he's there, but he's not there.
Yeah,
he's creatively there.
yeah, yes.
Okay, so without wasting much time, to our viewers across the world, this is the Good Morning Education Show, and we're excited to have you here. And my colleagues and analysts and experts are also here, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time together. Please be reminded of the fact that the session today is going to be straight to the point. We're going to be talking about something that actually affects every one of us. It's something that is almost last weekend we had a lot of outcry and conversations around the impact of the pandemic and the non reopening of schools across the country. We found out that the impact has been very, very drastic, and it's causing a lot of pain. The burden of being able to survive has been put to question. So today we will be talking about something that will lead us into that. And because we know that it's such a juicy topic, we're going to suspend the headlines today and just go straight into the conversation. I know Titi has been giving me some prep behind the scenes that we need to talk about this, we need to talk about this. I'm
Mm,
sure there's a safety concern to it, there's a tech solution to it. And
yeah,
by the time we have Roque Posh and probably Rhoda joins us, we'll be able to take the same issue from different perspectives and be able to render value. So today, if you're listening to us out there, feel free to ask your questions, send in your comment, let us know the location your
oh, okay.
Oh, run to me. What's happening?
Okay, TT is moving. Okay. I thought you were frozen too. uh,
Wow.
okay,
Okay.
let's go on with it, right?
Yes, let's go on with it.
I'd
Oh,
like
Rotimi
to.
is back.
Oh,
Rotimi,
is
we
that
lost you
all?
for yes, we lost you for like a minute or less.
And I was spitting fire here. I was just talking. Come on. Oh my
So
goodness.
you just have to repeat what you said.
What if I was giving out money?
Repeat that part.
So I was saying that we need to explore the different points and the different views regarding this matter. And I would like us to start with you, Titi. Today we're speaking on teachers becoming resourceful. Resourcefulness is a very deep-seated topic, deep-rooted topic. I would like you to start by just taking us into the perspective of and the need to be resourceful. What is resourcefulness as it is? Is it just a bunch of words that is, used by consultants trying to dribble your understanding? What exactly do we mean
Amazing.
by teachers becoming resourceful?
I think being resourceful is a combination of problem solving skills. That's from Eben. I think being resourceful is a combination of having problem solving skills as well as being able to use what you have in your immediate environment. So, you know, COVID has affected a lot of people. So schools and teachers are not the only ones that are impacted. You know, your barber is impacted. When you go to do your hair, they're impacted. So many people are impacted. People that sew clothes are impacted. But what happens is that you need to be able to look at your problems and then say to yourself, what's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? And what plans do I have for that? I think that's really being resourceful. So when I look at teachers, I'm saying that what is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is schools will not open till 2021. That's really the worst that can happen. What's the best that can happen? The best that can happen is that school will open sometime in September or in October. So what are your plans to address this? You see, this is when it's so important that a teacher realizes that any development that you do is not for your school, it's actually for yourself. So all that time when your school say go for this training, you're like, yeah, they didn't give me transport money, I'm not going to go for the training. This is the time to realize that every training that you do is really for yourself. It helps you to develop yourself, helps you to improve yourself. And then when you improve yourself, it's not for carrying certificate. You know, when you go for training, I see teachers always rushing, what's the certificate? No, it's not about the certificate. In the end, any training that you do is so that you can use it. So the question now is, you've been trained, what resources do you have in your hands to be able to do other things, other sources of income? I was speaking to a friend of mine. She was a fashion designer. Now she's into making sanitizers. I'm serious. She's into making sanitizers because all the high-end clothes she was making, nobody's buying it. So she's gone ahead to make sanitizers. I have a lot of friends reaching out to me that now they do market runs. Now they're into cooking. Now they're into catering. So it just shows that you have to say to yourself, what skill do I have in my hand? I know people that when they relocate, one of the first things they do is, I know how to make hair. They start by making hair or, cooking. So you have to ask yourself, be resourceful means, what do you have in your hands? What can you do? Who are your immediate network that you can network to? For teachers, what I say is that if you have not learned anything about technology, this means that that was a major mistake, and it's not too late. I mean, go and check with Eben. He's been doing a lot of trainings. Go and upskill yourself, because you can still provide services. I know people now that are unhappy with online learning, and they are looking for a lesson teacher that can come to their house and be teaching their children for a few hours. So it means that there's an opportunity for you to do that in your community. It doesn't have to be in your school. So you live in a place where you know that Yarisi in the flat below you and Kudira to the flat above you have children. They need to go to work and they need someone that can help them. So for a fee, you can tell them that, you know what, I'll coach your children from 9 to 12, and this is how much you pay me. That's being resourceful. And then by the time you add the two neighbors, you look for the other people beside you, and then before you know it, you're making some money. That's if you can't do online. But if you do online, reach out to people, reach out to various people and see what resources do you have in your hands, what skills do you have in your hand that you can monetize, what knowledge do you have. It might not even be teaching, you'll be surprised. It can be something else that you're very good at, people have always commended you for, and then you can say, more people are commending me, maybe they'll be interested to pay me a fee, for this skill that I have, and then monetize it. So this is the time to be resourceful. This is the time to think out of the box. Everyone is suffering, not only school owners, not only teachers, but you have to have your plan A, and you have to have your plan A. Thank you.
Safety chick. So I'm going to ask you to also add to what Titi just mentioned. Oh, here she is. Oh my God.
I don't know why this fine girl is hiding her face. I don't know why this fine chick is hiding her face. As you find, so why now?
She's becoming resourceful. Safety chick becoming resourceful. Oh my God. All right. So quickly, I would like you to just on just under 2 minutes, please address
your mic is off. Her mic is off.
Okay, please. Can you take off your mute? Okay. So.
Oh, okay. I was saying that Mr. RTB has demanded. So
yeah.
I was actually trying to help with the network because I wasn't certain if it was going to affect the quality of the whole thing. So that's why I was just trying to stick to just audio, but we'll just try. If that happens,
Yeah,
manage.
we love you trying. We love you trying. Yeah. So, speaking about teachers becoming resourceful, I'm sure a lot of people might have the misconception of what resourcefulness is. Are we actually asking people to go own businesses? Are we asking people to take over enterprise? What's your take when it comes to teachers becoming resourceful? Hello, safety chick, are you there? Okay, I'm afraid that the network has.
You can turn off your video.
Okay, you can turn off your video. We've seen your face already. That would do if you can. Okay, so let's just while we're waiting for her to connect, I'm gonna ask Jude. Jude.
Yes, I can hear you.
So I'm going to ask you the same question I'm asking Gochi Safety Chick. Could you tell us
Okay.
what's your take on that?
Resourcefulness has different angles to it, and it has different twists to it in life. Somebody can be resourceful professionally, but they might not be resourceful domestically. So at this point, where teachers are losing their job or they are not paid in full, or different, not just teachers, everybody is having a bite of the situation. So, what will resourcefulness mean to each person? What resourcefulness mean to one person might not be the same resourcefulness to another person. Are you getting it? So, basically, for teachers, if it's finances, that means you need to be resourceful, trying to get something else going on for you aside your teaching job. If it's not forthcoming with the money you expect, uh, the same thing with uh, the same thing with when you're resourceful with money, you want to also be resourceful with what skills you have at hand that will empower you to make extra cash, make extra money. And you find that what most teachers have dodged over the period in time, as Titi was saying, what they have dodged, trainings or looking for extras for a free training and all that, it's now going to start affecting them. And it's more of private teachers. I'll divert a little bit to public schools or public teachers. I think at this point in time, they are still being taken care of by the government, and that's why things are still the way they are. So for private teachers at this point in time, I heard somebody on Facebook. I will not call names anyway, but I heard somebody on Facebook was saying that teachers are now food sellers, and I'm like wondering, man, this is the time to show your talent. Whatever you can do, if you can open a restaurant now, open a restaurant. If you can sell food anywhere at your front of your house, or you can start making pastries, or start becoming what do they call it?
Okay.
Becoming a caterer. Become a caterer at this point. So it's
All right.
resourcefulness that you need now is to keep your finances on top. That is it. So you should know what to keep your how to keep your finances on top, and it becomes your priorities now is now clear to you. So there's no more extra frivolities you'll be spending money on. So your finances is now clear to you that this is what I should be using my money for, and this is what I should not be using my money for. So resourcefulness has different angles to it. So it's like a three-dimensional figure. You have your resourcefulness when it comes to your
Thank you.
budget or your financing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Let's
Okay.
begin to wrap up
So
now.
that three dimension to it is your finances, your budgets, and your skills. So those are the three dimensions to the resourcefulness at this point in time. Thank you.
All right. So great stuff you've said, Jude. Awesome summation. I would like to also say this as we have several people, joining us across the world. We're speaking today on teachers becoming resourceful. And I'd like to say this before I ask Ronke Posh. Ronke Posh is in the building. I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask Ronke Posh a question. But before I say that, I would like to state this out there for those who are joining us. We're speaking on teachers becoming resourceful, and this is the Good Morning Education Show. We would like us to contribute. So if you have questions, please send the questions in. If you have comments, please make your comments. Now I'm going to ask Ronke Posh as I bring Ronke Posh to the screen. Ronke Posh, good morning. How are you? Hello, Ronke Posh. Good morning. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Blue Monday, is it?
Patience is one of those things that I'm still learning. I'm not quite there. So waiting in the back room, I'm like backstage. I'm like, hello, what's going on? Okay, what's the question you have for me today? Good morning. Let's fire on.
Okay, so what would you like to tell every teacher out there, especially when it comes to the first 2-3 steps they should take in becoming resourceful? Because some people think that that's like a long journey. Speaking about what they're currently facing, it looks like you're telling them to go on a long journey, and currently people are feeling the pangs of hunger, pangs and pains of not having a job or not having funds as well. What would you tell people out there in terms of resourcefulness?
Good morning, everybody, again. Good morning, everyone watching on all the different platforms. So I'm Ronke Posh, and we're talking about resourcefulness. Thank you for that question, Mr. Yutayo. So it's easy to say than do. It's easy to say than do, because my situation is not necessarily the same as everybody's own. Having said that, we are all feeling the pinch. We are all feeling it in one capacity or the other. Even if you were making billions, if it's come down a little bit, it still has come down a bit. And I always like to put myself in people's shoes. I like to say that. So one of the reasons why I even released a book, 101 tips to curb the beating and shouting at this time during the COVID, was just to test what would happen. Is it possible for me to even still sell that book at this time? And guess what? I've been selling that book almost every day. People are buying. In fact, it's every day so far, because it's only been released a few weeks ago. People are buying the book. So what do I have to say to people that are looking for a way to earn at this time? I've dedicated this week to finding solutions. I can't give all the solutions, but I will do my bit to proper solutions as to what we can do regarding this. I will be posting them on my Instagram as well. What can we do? For now, I think I do not want people to leave the sector personally. I don't want people to leave the educational sector, because it's one thing telling people to go and start a business. Now, if they want to start a business and the business is doing well, they will leave our children, and we need teachers for our children. So what are those things that we can tell them to do at this time without putting them out? So I always recommend brain work. I tend to recommend brain work. What are those things that you can do with your brain? So I will explain what I mean. So for example, if you can do animation, for example, there are lots of people schools that like animation. Personally, I don't like it, but there are lots of people that like animation for their children at this time. I still believe that my children should see me, feel me, and that kind of stuff. There's too much animation going on YouTube. So if you can do those animation, customize it for a school, perhaps you can use that skill and then you approach. So at this time, people need communication skills and they need a lot of confidence. When you see that a school has posted a dodgy looking flyer, or maybe somebody else has posted a dodgy looking flyer, because I know people have done it to me, where I would create a flyer and not necessarily even dodgy, because I don't really produce dodgy stuff. However, they will say, oh, I made this for you, and maybe you would like it better. In fact, they've tried it with my logo quite a number of times, but to date, I'm still maintaining the same logo. So they'll show it to me, graphic work, and I'm like, oh, this is really, really nice. And then I will take it on board. How much is it, or blah, blah, blah. And the person can just say, okay, I can be doing it for you for a certain amount of, maybe 10 for whatever amount. You just negotiate and find out what you can do for the person. Whether we know it or not, there are people that are I'm making a lot of money at this time. I have a friend that told me that her business was even struggling, but now during the COVID, she has made a lot more money than she normally would. She's a caterer, and she was able to approach very busy people that were working from home, like couldn't cook at this particular time, and she was making like soup, big ones in bowls, banga, stew, goosey, for all sorts of things, and she's making money at this time. So what can you do? What can you do at this time? Because it's difficult. A lot of people don't have capital right now. I'm not one for giving handouts, but people need to eat at this time. At the same time, they need to get the data to learn new skills. So can you help somebody with social media? Can you say, okay, I can be posting for your school, or you don't necessarily, you don't keep it within the sector. Don't keep it within the sector. So people are, or can you approach a school and say, okay, I can help with your, and then this is upskilling. I can help with your summer camp. I can sing to your preschoolers. I can do this, even if it's on a part-time basis. So I've been thinking like that. Okay, if I really need money right now, what can I do? What can I do right now? So I will look within myself. What are those skills that I have? I can talk. I can communicate. Who are those people that are looking for people that can communicate? You need to go online. There are some sites, and I'll post them over the next few, this week. I'll be posting all those things. I'll be discussing them also on YouTube. But the name is not coming to me. It's still early in the morning. But there's some sites that you can transcribe for them. So if you transcribe for them, or you do a project and you write it out for them, they will and that's why speak and write well is very important. They will give you money for certain amount of pages that you transcribe for them. So there are all those type of skills that are not really common. I'll definitely post those websites, just not coming to me right now, but it's something that I've already jotted down as I was doing my research that people can do without leaving the comfort of their homes sometimes.
All right. Rhoda is in the building. Rhoda, good morning.
Morning. Great
I would
to
like
be here.
to give me your glasses as well, so I can have mine. The Good Morning Education Show glasses. Everybody should have one. Jude, are you with me? Jude, are you with me?
Yes. I need that glass.
It's like you're feeling marginalized. She's wearing glasses. She's wearing glasses. Rhoda is wearing glasses. Roker Posh, I don't know if she's interested, but the guys are asking for theirs. Eben is not wearing glasses. All right, so Rhoda, very quickly, in less than 2 minutes. You being a teacher, and you've gone through different levels along the professional space of the teaching profession. Can you just share a word about teacher resourcefulness, taking it from the aspect of being resourceful along your career path, not just being resourceful, doing anything, but along the career path of a teacher? Could you spend some time on that, please?
Okay, good morning to everybody listening, and this is the Good Morning Education Show, isn't it? And let me get right into it. One of the things that, and I have a story, my personal story is a story of growth in this career path. The main meaning of resourcefulness, or just being resourceful, is having an ability to be quick and clever about difficult situations, about handling difficult situations. And one of the things that I first did with myself, I honestly, I'm always very honest about my weaknesses. And that is because it enables me to be able to tell myself the truth about what I need to go on. And I see, because qualities people at least important. Quest to be resourceful, but it's very important for teachers to be honest about first that point. Just be really honest. What am I struggling with? If you can answer the question with what you are struggling with, then you can begin to work on things that you can improve on. That's something that helps your growth, from a mindset perspective. And another thing about this career path, especially if you have chosen the sector teaching as your career path, another thing about it is that we have to be mindful about the opportunities within the space, within the education space, and the market share. And market share is, for teachers, is parents, parents, and parents. And if the market share is parents, parents, parents in this career path, and also, and why I say the market share is parents, 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 because you want to expand your scope, right? And you want to be able to reach that additional value chain. So there is parents, of course, like I said, parents, parents, parents. But of course, we have teachers. And there are a lot of teachers doing things in the space, but you have to be able to come out with something very solid that is competitive with what other teachers are also doing. So, which is why the base point is being honest with yourself about your weakness so you can go quickly. But for using my own example, I knew that I needed to build my tech skills very, very, very early. Like I always say, I was prepared for a time like this. And for me, it led to growth. And I know that one of the things that I would encourage teachers to do in this career path is to definitely make sure that you're really tight on your digital skills. Because I know a lot of us have said it, but you see, it's kind of like the cliche when you say it, and some people just don't take it that seriously. Ronke Posh mentioned, being able to do flyers for people. Yes, that's one of the things. But we are content creators. Teachers are content creators, and there is a ton of content to be created. And when you think about it critically in that career path, you will see that there is so much content to create. Let me tell you something. I don't know people who are writing stuff about home economics and agricultural science, for example, which is an entrepreneurial area. Where are all the teachers who know stuff about agri, who can actually help not only parents but children grow that agri space? There are so many, if you look at even English on its own, there are people dealing with comprehension, the very few people in that space who can help teachers and help parents and help children to understand how to navigate that space. There are so many things. For me, I made sure that I grew my career in my career path by gathering a group of teachers. So some people, if your skill is bringing people together, that's something for a cause. And people actually grow their path in that sense, because again, you start to perfect that skill and then, begin to consult. So we need to just really look within the career space. There is a market share that we're sharing. Everybody in the space is sharing. But imagine that as you're sharing it, you've got to be really, really unique in your value proposition. So what is that special thing about you? And so why don't you just look for a space that is uninhabited or largely uninhabited? Like green education is new. Some space I would like to share with anybody. And there's so much to do there. So these are the things, like for me, my career path was just building a community of educators, honing my digital skills, and looking for that special, unique value proposition that I'm great at. And I'm great at inclusion, I'm great at curriculum, I'm great at, just waking up on my feet. These are things I do. And it led me to grow to where I am now, serving 500,000 children.
Thank you.
And I'm paid for it.
So Safety Chief, welcome back. You've been able to demonstrate the possibility of looking at subject matter expertise when it comes to resourcefulness, and which is almost riding on the back of what Rhoda just said. You've taken the space of safety education and safety consciousness, and you've blown it out in such a way that it's emerging into an industry of itself. Most people probably will not be interested in going into the place of safety, but you've been able to take safety and beautify the levels and the tenets of safety that now you're even having more global attention and recognition than even local attention. Could you spend some time, just in like 2 minutes, to help a teacher out there or an educator out there to understand that resourcefulness has to move away from generality to specificity? Could you spend time on that?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question. It's a very, very important one. I think that for starters, everybody should do a SWOT analysis of themselves. Many times when we think of SWOT analysis, people think of it for just business. But no, as an individual, you've got to know what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities available to you, and what are the threats. Most especially now,
Once you have been able to do that analysis of yourself, then you need to ask yourself, so how am I going to make use of this information? That is going to help you to choose what you are going to do and how you are going to do it. When you've identified a particular strength and you've seen there is an opportunity there, then the next thing is to begin to take steps in that direction. So, for example, Mrs. Adewusi mentioned having gathering maybe children in your compound and teaching them, and from there the information spread, because maybe some people may not be able to have online learning, and that is so important. But again, you could be the one that maybe you are great at a particular area. So, for example, I went to the market and one of the ladies I was buying things from, we ended up talking about this, and she opened Telegram. She showed me a group on Telegram where a chemistry teacher, I can't remember the name of the school the lady is from, but this lady opened a Telegram group and she teaches chemistry every day. Children from different schools are on that platform. What she does is she starts with a video, she teaches, then she asks questions and everybody is supposed to respond, and then she marks. And I thought about it, that is a lot of work. But she has determined that she's really great at teaching chemistry, because even this woman who doesn't even know anything about chemistry, she kept on saying, this lady is good. She knows how to teach it. That is someone who picked something and she says, this is my area and I'm going to dig deep. That is what everybody should do right now. And like some of our speakers have already mentioned, it may not necessarily be restricted to just the education sector. It could be in other areas. So, for example, yesterday on the Investigate Live session that you had with Mrs. Posh, I mentioned about a website called Skills Factory Africa. On that website, there are tons of digital skills anyone can learn from the comfort of their mobile phones, and it's just 3,000 naira for a month. So if I know people are saying there is no money, there is no money, but you've got to get value so that you are able to create value. It is when you have learned something that you'll be able to do something that will push you to make some money. So 3,000 naira is a great investment. Use it, learn as much as you can. Look for people within your network who need that skill set and begin to deploy it. And nobody is asking you to start charging 1 million the first time. You can start with little so that people can afford it. And as people begin to see how great you are at what you are doing, pricing can, get higher. But for now, what is important is about giving value, being known as someone that gives value. So resourcefulness cannot be overemphasized at all. And like you mentioned, that's actually one of the things that has helped my work to go out. And I feel that no matter what area that you find yourself in, there is just a way you can go about it in a unique way that would make you stand out. I mean, who would have thought that talking about safety for children in a storybook would have pushed my work out there and gotten mentions in different media across the world? But that is what is happening. And it can happen for anyone too. Find that thing. And then there's another thing I'm going to advise educators. There is a website called opportunitydesk.org. There are tons of amazing opportunities there. I know that many times people think it's for just people between the ages of 18 to 35, but there are actually opportunities for those who are older than that. And when you apply for those kinds of opportunities, it helps you to get in contact with people from other countries who are doing similar things. So I'm sure there is going to be something for people in education. There will be something for those maybe in Montessori. But if you do not go and look for it, you would not find it. And many times there are even opportunities for certain age ranges that is even older. So you are not going to feel left out that, oh, many things are just for the younger ones. No, if you do not go and look out for these things, you may not find it. So it's really important that educators put themselves out there. Don't think the world it has ended, you are depressed. No, that's not it. Do your SWOT analysis. Once you get your results, begin to take strategic steps. And little by little, you are going to get those things you are looking for.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Safety Chick, for that contribution. Eben has not mentioned anything yet, so I would like Eben to... So, Dr. Eben, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning, sir. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah. This is I didn't even know that we are discussing this today. Yesterday, I was actually speaking with Mr. Rotimi, and one of the things I actually mentioned was this resourcefulness as as part of the problem I'm seeing right now, because I see a lot of things happening right there now. And one thing that I actually use as the statement as solution is that if we are resourceful, a lot of things we can achieve without actually doing a lot of thinking right now. So resourcefulness is the solution to so many things that is happening out there. Using myself as an as study case, just check it out. I am an artist. I am an artist. What I do, I transform learning environment. I integrate art into the curriculum. But suddenly, as everything actually turned upside down, the next thing I actually did was to just switch to another skill in my sector, which I also understand the language, which is the technology skill. So I have been doing it. There's something that somebody mentioned, that you have to invest first. You have to invest. There's nothing you can do about it. If it is to invest on your data, you have to invest on your data first. If it is to invest on your time, you have to invest on your time for. If you don't invest on those things, you may not actually get what you need. So investment is the first thing. Then after investing, then everything follows. So I invest on data every day. I kept on researching for so many things that I can actually solve as problem in technology, because technology is now the language that everybody actually need out there to actually bring in a solution into virtual learning. So number one thing I would like everybody to be thinking is for us to be thinking about solving problem, investing in how we can solve problem. And another thing is for us to look out of our comfort zone. There are so many things out of our comfort zone that we can actually dive into to actually get us solutions to problems. And maybe in
Thank
general,
you.
what I'm going to just advise is that look for problem, then go and search for solution to those problems. There are so many solutions you can give to virtual learning. There are so many solutions you can give to so many things going. I've not seen specialists in terms of mathematics teaching online for now. Mathematics is the next thing I'm actually thinking of right now, because people need to be teaching mathematics in a very unique way online, and I've not seen anybody doing that. I've been seeing a lot of videos online, but I've not seen mathematics teachers specializing on just teaching maths online. I love what safety said about the technology. I've not actually heard that before, and I'm surprised about chemistry being taught online on even Telegram, not even WhatsApp. So please, we need to just encourage everybody that it is not all about complaining. Like a quote by a woman called Maya Trump. She said, "Don't just complain. Get it all. You get it all. How do you get it all? Get it all by learning. How do you get it all? Get it all by solving problem." So if you do that, I'm very sure you have solution. By the time you solve everybody's problem, they will surely reward you. And the reward can come in form of money, can come in form of promotion, it can come in form of connection and more.
Thank you so much. Eben has now turned from creativity to philosophy, and I'm feeling the vibration. It's like Eben is craving for the stage once again. Don't worry, very soon you'll still be holding the mic and then gathering different people, and then of course we'll get back to it. I'm sure most of us will miss the mic, don't you, Rhoda? Don't you miss the stage?
Something comes to mind. Something comes to mind quickly. I want to quickly say, whilst we are very excited and very resourceful about sharing resourceful tips, I think another thing that we should also be mindful of is the fact that there is, like I said, the market share, but we need to also educate teachers on the numbers. So there is the case of knowing what your market is, and being able to determine the percentage that your target market will be. Because you see, there is the income power or earning power of your market that drives how you make an income. Look, you can decide to bring out your unique proposition, which is maybe a mathematics, which, by the way, Eben, Shewa, what it is doing that. You can decide to bring all of those, and then some people will not buy. You become frustrated. And you might be great, because again, what is the earning potential of teachers? We need to really understand and help teachers to do that mathematics as well. So anybody who is in financial literacy, with, or anyone who understands how to draw the plan of the market share. It's also something that teachers, anybody within this space can support teachers on.
Thank you.
You might not just see the money and you become frustrated. How many people are you selling to?
Yeah. I think that, and I'm sure Titi will agree with me. I think that is essential and is necessary that we don't approach this from just one angle. A lot of times, people just jump into this entrepreneurial bust into a large ocean, and then they begin to struggle to stay afloat. One thing that I need to also encourage out there is that teachers, in the journey to becoming resourceful, you must first be willing to learn. Success always leaves clues. There are many people who have insights, who have explored paths ahead of you in terms of client acquisition. Your idea might be right, but you might have challenge acquiring clients. In terms of client management, it's easy for you to look at a school or school owner and say that they're not doing a lot. But the aspect of keeping clients together, managing clients and the type of clients, excellence in that area is a learning curve that teachers must be willing to submit to. Some of this will be free, some of this will be discounted, some of this you have to pay. And when I say pay, it doesn't have to be like you're paying for training. Like Eben said, you will have to invest in data. That's I can tell you that anyone who is going to do a lot of online learning must not look at subscription as a taboo. You must invest in data. There's no running away from it. You understand? Because that's what happens. And then also, I'll just need to say this, and then I'll ask another question. When it comes to resourcefulness, we need to recognize that there are different routes to expression of resourcefulness. I'm going to share 4 on this. And what Ronke Posh said has actually inspired me when she said she was going to gather some content together and help people to find out ways and what they can explore in the area of getting out to either obtain or provide services as it were. So one of the things that I would like people to understand is that when it comes to resourcefulness, you need to look at the several routes that are available. Number one route that is available is a passion route. A lot of people are passionate, but they've actually reduced passion to the place of affection. I love to do this. I love to do math. I love to teach this. I love to do that. But passion is beyond something that you are having affection for. Passion actually has an economy that presents itself to teachers. So the things that people are passionate about, that is the things that people have affection for. Some parents have affection for their students or their children speaking well. That's a passion. In that place, there's an economy. What you are passionate about, in that place, there's an economy. Number 2, there's a place of pain. There are many things causing parents and families and schools pain right now. If you are able to explore that, that's a place of economy. Resourcefulness in that area will produce economy to you. So there's passion, there's pain. There's also the place of pleasure. Now, the lockdown and the isolation and social distancing has increased the value of pleasure right now. That anyone who is able to get some degree of pleasure in the place of resourcefulness will be able to get some economy out of it, right? And then there's also a place of platform. So we spoke about Telegram, we spoke about all the other things, but the truth about it is that beyond the social media platform, there are platforms within platforms. People are going about creating tribes. People are going about creating value-added services along the place of platforms. So teachers out there should begin to think about it from this spectrum, that passion presents an economy. It's not just an affection. Pain presents an economy. It's not just for you to complain. We've seen so many videos and so many comments in the last 1 week. That actually also can actually be a place of business, because the truth about it is that people are coming up to solve the pain that teachers have, and we're having skill hubs we're having bureaus of services for teachers that emanated from the place of pain. So these are many more things that I believe that we can explore. So I'm going to ask us this question, but before then, let me just take one or two comments. So we have Dio. I'm also saying that Rhoda made a fantastic point. She said, how many potential customers are there and are willing to pay? I remember Iben's comment a few days ago about teachers' unwillingness to pay for his resources. Absolutely true. Also, she said, can Rhoda provide some tips on how teachers can determine the market share and indicators of the customer's willingness to pay? Where or how can they get the data? Rhoda, do you want to take that in 60 seconds?
So I mean, I'm not a what's it called? I'm not a financial literacy. No, it's not financial literacy. I'm not I don't know what to call it.
Statistician.
Let me tell you what I do in time to determine my market share. So if it's like the great examples you've given, Rotimi, about the various platforms. You said there's a platform part, there's a passion part, then there is a what's the third one? You mentioned three. I see passion, platform.
I mentioned four. Pain,
four,
pleasure, passion, and platform.
Sorry? I didn't hear that.
Pain, pleasure, passion, and platform.
Okay, so imagine you pick one, right? And it's platform, for example. Let's just use platform because that's the one that everybody, kind of like is easier for them to wrap around. And you say, okay, I'm going to be a mathematics expert using the example that Eben shared. And then you look within the platforms that are available for you to use. For example, you ask, okay, how many teachers are on Facebook? You sample all of the Facebook groups that are available. And then like distill the data that you're getting. So there's the teachers network, there's the educators, there is the all the other platforms on Facebook. There's the Facebook part, social media part. You take the Facebook, you break it into Facebook, WhatsApp, all of those, and ask yourself the kind of engagement find out the kind of engagement that is on there. And then you begin to understand how the engagement drives to sales. Then you do your own litmus test and then promote a few things. And when you promote a few things free, find the engagement. Right? When you get the engagement, then you determine the numbers that they are going to buy from you. So that's one example for a teacher. Who wants to buy their in the content space, content and development space. Right? Yeah. So that's one example. But then the other example, if you want to get out of the space and you want to get into, say, for example, agriculture or home economics, like taking care of people's homes, making bed sheets, whatever it is, the data is out there. Go and look for it. How many parents, like, for example, there are so many parents, depending on where you live in Benue State, you live wherever there's so many parents out there. How many of them are we looking for bed sheets? How many of them need people to buy food from them? So this kind of simple questions, not even, just ask yourself the simple questions so you know what to do and then begin to sell.
Okay. All right. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I just want to quickly ask, as we're about to get to read the comments, Ronke Posh, I would like you to come on board just in 1 minute. I'd like to ask you a question. Ronke Posh, what do you see as the limiting factors? Maybe just share 2 or 3 major limiting factors to teachers becoming resourceful. We've shared a lot of points, but I would like you to just help us out on that.
Well, 1 minute won't cut it for me, as you know. But the thing is, I like to be realistic. I like to be very, very realistic. We understand the unique selling point. We understand that people are looking for data to know where the customers are. If everybody has access to that, then the situation we are in will not even be the situation. The average teacher in Abule Egba does not have data, has not been paid in a long time. They need a job. They're not looking for, they can't even get on Facebook. Even Facebook free mode is a challenge right now for many teachers. Because I was speaking to a lady the other day, that was how I even knew this the Facebook free mode does not allow you to see the video. Because I was saying to her, will you see my video? I was talking about it, like, I can't see. They can't even see pictures. So they can't even know what is going on in many of these groups. How can people get money offline? So there are limiting factors, like you said. The society itself is a limiting. I call Nigeria a hostile environment. I find it hostile. And I don't even know how to put it. It's a hostile environment to even want to do anything. People are pushing beyond boundaries. They are doing their best. Okay, that teacher that's in a low income school that has not even been paid to since Wednesday, since February, March, they don't have lights. They hardly have water. Landlord is complaining. That we need to look proper solutions that are also offline. We need to know that the people that are really feeling the pinch are not the so I don't think that can teach maths online. They're not the EBEN that can get data and some teachers will not pay for them. No, we are looking for workable solutions, realistic things. Even if it's noodles right now, that's what it has come to. That you're making noodles in the morning with boiled egg and you have 10 customers every morning and your family is okay. That is the level that it has come to for many teachers. So we're not talking about the island teachers, the catered teachers right now. That's not the scope of it. So limiting factors include the environment itself. The environment is so challenging. People are sad and depressed at this time. Yesterday, I put an email blast outside across my platforms to say, if you want to support teachers, and I'm not talking about handouts. We need money, but I'm not talking about to be handing it out because they will spend the money and we'll be back in the situation again. So I sent this out, and if you see, there were people that are telling me, even from America, from London, I want to help. So I have those people. But I have people who are like, why are you sending me this? People that would not normally talk to me like that. Why are you telling me this? I'm also a teacher. I need money. They've not paid me this. They've not paid me that. You know, people are actually angry. So that's being in that state alone. You might not even be able to get yourself to a place where you want to even help yourself because you are already down and out. So that is a limiting factor in itself. The environment, our emotions, the way we feel right now, we are not happy. We are looking at our children are looking up to us. Mommy, I'm not going to school. Mommy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. I need this, I need that. How does one move on at this particular time? So those are the sort of solutions that that's the angle I'm coming from. These people need a lot of help right now. And the environment is just not it for many people.
All right, thank you so much. Ronke Posh, very, very true to what you said. I think we on the Good Morning Education Show, we believe that teachers and educators out there must also recognize that you must show and bring yourself to the place of help to receive help. One of the things that we will do is to ensure that in the course of the week, just like you furnish us with those information, Ronke Posh, we're going to put it up here and let people know so that nobody is without excuse or reason to be able to leverage on practical solutions like you said. And I'd like to just want to use this opportunity before I ask us to give our closing remarks to thank the excellent teacher for our comments. She says, I agree with you, Mrs. Adeni, 100%. Nigeria is an hostile environment, and I'm trying to get to read it. Nigeria's a hostile environment. You just have a way of hitting the nail on the head. Most teachers cannot afford data. And then we have Ifyok saying, well done, well said, Ronke Posh. We have Cadet Academy TV saying, perfect topic for a time like this, becoming resourceful. Blessing Nyakwe says, I agree with you. I mean, we don't need to go far. Where are the teachers, even right now on these free informative platforms? Most of the teachers are not here. Then we have Chukwe Buka calling saying, this is really so good, just glad to be here. And Cadet Academy saying loud and clear, good morning. Dayo Amusu, thank you for your comment. I've read that already. The excellent teacher, thank you for your comment. Teach Nigeria, that's teach.ng. He says, I think there's a big opportunity for digital instructional design at the moment and also in the years ahead, helping teachers and trainers to structure their learning content in the digital space is something teachers should take advantage of. So we have Favor L. Idogun, thank you for joining and thank you for your comments. We have Dio. We also have the Learning Craft. We have so many of you joining and saying wonderful things. We want to thank you for your contribution. And yes, so great stuff. Titi is giving me a message and I'm just smiling. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start and take the lead, and hopefully my colleagues here will follow. So this is it. Some years ago, I spent some time to teach people about understanding the business of education. And in that, I had done that about 3 times, where I was able to introduce people to the sector and the sphere of education, to the industries to explore, the businesses, and how to transit from idea to into business, and then from industry to sector. So this is what I'm going to do in the spirit of what Ronke Plus started, so that people can have a ray of hope ahead of them. So I'm going to bring back the understanding the business of education. I'm going to break it into fragments, and that's my own support and solution to the situation on ground. And it's just for those who will be willing and ready to participate. So I will meet you halfway, and I hope you meet me halfway. That's my own take. So I believe that as we give others a word to wrap up today's session, starting with Titi, we will hear if they have something to say or if they have something to give to the society as well. So Titi, you put me on the spot. Back to you. Titi, over to you.
Okay, Rotimi, well done. I think that's a fantastic initiative. I think a lot has been said today. I would want to end with the note to say you need to be on various platforms to be able to identify where there are opportunities, to be able to see what people are saying they need and see how you meet those needs. I think that's really very important. Yes, there's no data. Yes, there's no thing. But like I said in the beginning, always look around you for the problem and look around you for the resources you have in your hands. It doesn't have to be online. That is the truth. It doesn't have to be online. It could be anything. In the spirit of giving, honestly, I would say that Nigeria Kids is looking at giving for schools that will still be doing something in August. We're looking at giving a free 1 month subscription to any school that's interested and their children, just as a way to help. So that's what we're also putting out there. So if you're a teacher, you also need a resource that is educational, that is fun and engaging. Reach out to us on various platforms that we're on, and we will be looking at giving a free month subscription in August. Thank you.
Awesome. Rhoda, do you want to say something?
I just want to encourage teachers here that are listening and those who will listen in the replay. When we speak about, I work in the low-income sector, and I know a lot about what happens in that space. And when we speak about things like, making sure that you understand your market, it doesn't always have to be online. And for us, we majorly work offline. And it's just really going to your neighborhood. I know one of our teachers who went to our neighbor on her street to ask a few questions. And that's how to collect our data. When we talk about collecting data, we don't necessarily mean that you guys are looking for graphs and all of those things. And the reason why I say this is because I don't want you to be frustrated about anything. There's so much you can do. There's a lot of people looking for you, looking for what to get from you, and just looking for what service you have to offer. And just make sure you always present your best self, present your best self, and then hone that area and just fly with it. In the spirit of giving, I'm coming up with some free articles and of course a free training for teachers in helping them navigate a specific area. And I'll share that soon. So it's a material that I will share with you teachers, and then it's going to be really, really, really useful in trying to navigate this space of how do I manage and get more income.
Awesome.
I forgot to mention that Bridge Academy has lots of free resources. If you're doing so just go to their website and download a lot of free resources that Bridge Academy has. So if you are looking for lesson content and you don't have, they have that as well on Bridge. The website. So that's also something that you can.
bridgesinternationalacademies.com. You get there, you get all kinds. In fact, we have a bank worth of almost 15 weeks of lesson content and audio content as well.
And
So
audio content.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so safety check.
Okay, so I'll just end by saying everyone should do an analysis of themselves. What is your strength? What is your weaknesses? What are the opportunities in your environment? And what are the threats? And like other speakers have mentioned, this does not mean things that can be done only online. It could be something that can be done within your neighborhood. I mean, if you're really great at managing children, why not become a temporary daycare center for parents who have to go back to work? And then you're able to earn something from it. Just create something, go online, find standards, and just put something little together just to help and use the opportunity to train people. So in the spirit of giving, I have a free app that has tons of safety education resources. In addition, I'll be saying that I'll be giving 20 copies of the third book in my Adventures of Muna series for free, so that people who will be organizing summer activities can have materials that can be used to teach the children. So I'm not certain how we're going to distribute that, but there are 20 books that will be available for that. And of course, the app has resources. So just visit Google Play Store and download the Safety Chip Compass. Also, I'll just like to state that I've just received from some persons in Abuja the federal government guidelines for school resumption. So I have the document, but I'll only be able to share it via my Telegram channel. So visit t.me/the safety check. I'll upload it there so that you can just download, have it right on your device. And it's just so that you know what the federal government is saying, so that ahead of time, begin to prepare. I know a lot of people were a bit worried running helter skelter when the news for school resumption came. That doesn't have to be you. Please plan ahead.
All right. So Mr. Jude, and then we'll end with Ronke Poch.
Okay. I'll be helping with free consultation and advisory for schools on my Facebook group, the Learning Content Creators. So I think the truth is that I'm prophesying, and I've seen it, that learning content is the future for making good money. Learning content, it might not even be in education, it might be outside education, but learning content is the future for teachers making money. So in my Facebook group, I'll be giving free advisory for schools who are still struggling to go on virtual classes or begin their virtual classes, or even cost their virtual classes. I will be up and doing with helpful tips and helpful suggestions for schools to run their virtual classes. For teachers interested in learning content and making good resources from learning content and even making money from it, I will also be available on my Facebook group, the Learning Content Creators. So that will be my helpful tip or helpfulness during this period in time. Thank you.
Okay, so and finally, last but not the least, Dr. Ronke Poch.
So for me, it's not really a spirit of giving thing. It's just something that I'm continuing. I'm spoken to quite a number of people that I want to invite online on my YouTube channel to speak to teachers, to give ideas of what they can actually do. So that's really that has been my project since last week. Ideas that we can share so that people can fish. So you teach a man, we've seen that happen repeatedly more money. So how can we say, oh, some people, because they are working, provide a mindset shift, a mindset makeover, so that they can help themselves to fish. Essentially what I want to be doing this week. I will also be doing some training as well. I can edit, I can do videos, I can do graphic work, Canva, I can do anything. And I'll ask people, whatever it is that you want me to teach you, that you think I can do to make you happy, make your children happy. If you want me to show up on Facebook right now and sing to your children, I'm very happy to do that. I'll take off my wig and put on my clown outfit. I can do that. I need people to, we just need to be happy, because learning is stage dependent. If people are not happy, they are definitely not going to learn anything. So we need to keep people happy. It doesn't mean that I don't have my own challenges. I have big, monstrous challenges as well. But learning is step dependent. Just like in the mornings, we have icebreakers when we come to class. The children will not learn. If mommy has shouted at them before they came to school in the morning, how can we create a global and national icebreaker in such a way that people, even when they check online or check on TV, there's this hope that is around, not this heaviness. So those are sort of things that I will be doing going forward. Thank you.
Okay, so Ronke Posh, quickly, someone is asking, what's your YouTube channel name, the name of your YouTube channel?
/Ronke Posh. But if you type in Ronke Posh, you'd find it there. Thank you for your interest.
Okay, so when you type Ronke Posh, you find out there. So I'm afraid that this is all we can take today. We'll be here tomorrow, and we'll be having another exciting edition of the Good Morning Education Show on the hour at 8 a.m. And please, all YouTubers, all Facebookers, and all educators out there, please share the word, spread the word, get someone to be a part of this, and we will have this conversation continue offline as well. So thank you to our analysts, and thank you to our guests. Thank you for all the comments across the world.
Thank you so much.
This is all saying bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good week. Bye.